let's move from players to coaches. Our nominees for biggest coaching change include John Calipari leaving Kentucky for Arkansas, Jim Harbaugh leaving Michigan for the Chargers, Tony Bennett stepping down at Virginia, Nick Saban leaving Alabama, and Bill Belichick getting pushed out by the Patriots, only to surface a minute and a half ago at North Carolina. Tony, the biggest coaching change to you.
Okay, so it's not Tony Bennett retiring in comparison to Nick Saban, because Tony Bennett has 1 national title and Nick Saban has 7.
Right.
Calipari leaving, staying in the conference, going to Arkansas is a big deal, and Arkansas is better. But Kentucky's still really good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really seem to have that kind of an impact. Jim Harbaugh leaving Michigan and going to the NFL.
That's huge.
I understand that.
Huge.
But Jim Harbaugh takes another job every few years and shifts back and forth between college and the pros.
Fair enough.
This one, for me, is a slam dunk. It is Bill Belichick. Yeah. A month ago, nobody ever suspected that he would end up in college. They thought surely the pros would give him another job. For him to end up at North Carolina is tremendously exciting. It is, to me, front page news, and it dwarfs all these other stories.
I wanted to pick anybody but Belichick.
I know.
I just did. I wanted to, he can't just come in the 11th hour in the middle of December and make himself bigger than everybody else who took a new gig. Except he did.
He did.
That's exactly what he did.
He did.
And of the others, I don't even know who my runner-up would be. My runner-up, I don't know who it would be, Tony. Harbaugh.
But he does this a lot.
Okay, but it's big news.
Okay.
And the other times, he didn't win a championship.
That's right.
Before he switcherooed.
But if you look at his record wherever he goes, it's great.
It becomes terrific in short order.
Then he moved.
And it should have been Harbaugh going from Michigan to the Chicago Bears. That's what it should have been.
Yeah.
And we blew that. We missed that opportunity. I understand why we missed it. We won't get into that. It's Bill Belichick. I'm fascinated by this. He also saved the conference football wise. Because the ACC has been nothing lately.
It's very exciting.
It is a deep third, if that, behind the SEC and Big Ten.
There's nobody in sports that doesn't want to see how he does.
You want to see what happens?
I mean, it is. I don't usually use the word exciting. To me, this is a tremendously exciting hire.
Yeah.
Really is. All right, and now to the most important category of this show. Worst loss by Matt Eberflus.
I don't need glasses.
The one everyone remembers is the Hail Mary loss to the Commanders.
Stop the tape.
But his Bears also lost to the Packers on a blocked field goal.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not forget the big late comeback against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Only to lose in overtime. And finally, the finish that unified millions of families in derision of him on Thanksgiving, not calling a timeout as the final 36 seconds ticked out against the Lions. Wilbon, which one crushed you the most? America wants to know.
No, they don't. They don't want to know, but you know what it is.
Yeah.
And this is not even close. The others, they lost 4 games, I think, in 6 weeks on the last play of the game, and all the national analysts haven't seemed to tie these things together. When you lose like they lost, your team is dispirited. You're done. You're crushed. And the emotional weight of that is more important than how they play it against a too-deep zone. While people keep talking about schemes and strategies, I told you the day they lost that Hail Mary that the Bears would not win another game this season. I told you that. And it changed everything. People got fired, multiple people, an offensive coach, a head coach. There may be more casualties. This is the toughest thing for a Chicago sports fan since Bartman, in my opinion.
So I give you all credit because I do remember that we talked about it, and you said they can't win any more games, and Eberflus will be fired at the end of the season because the tradition at the Bears
I didn't think
was not to do it in the middle of the season. And I remember the Hail Mary because I'm watching that game because Washington is involved. And I also remember the other player on the Bears who's yucking it up as the play is going on. You know, and it struck me as completely destructive to the team.
It was.
But you stepped out and you took territory that nobody else was taking.
Win no more.
You took it. You acquired that territory. So I thought you were right about that.
Old.
Let's take one last break. Still to come.